Yeah.
I love 15. Being able to do school with your pets. I think all pets should be allowed in school. And in homeschooling, you can do that. Welcome to the show called Let's Talk Homeschool, brought to you by Apologia Educational Ministries. This is the show where we talk about everything homeschooling, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. We want to affirm and encourage you in the decision to homeschool, challenge and inspire you to take it to new heights, and celebrate everything you get to experience along the way in this adventure of a lifetime. We're your hosts, Davis and Rachael Carman, and today's show is titled 50 Reasons Homeschooled Kids Love Being Homeschooled.
Okay.
So we've written many blogs in the past, top 10 reasons to homeschool. You have 49 reasons to homeschool. We have all kinds of lists of why homeschooling is good, reasons why you should homeschool. But this is the first time I've ever seen a list why homeschool kids actually love being homeschooled. And we've talked about how something that really bothers us is when kids say they hate school.
I was just somewhere the other day, and I used to teach high schools, and I loved teaching high school. And so there was this high school kid, and I said, "So you started back to school?" And he goes, "Yeah, I hate it." And I was just like, "That's wrong. It's just wrong."
So it is wrong. And so it's great to instill a love of learning,
right?
Love of reading. We've talked about those as two key factors in the success of any school. But it's great to see a list here. Now, this list is 10 years old, from 2014, published by Weird Unsocialized Homeschoolers. So that's the copyright from 2014. And so we're going to fly through this list, comment on a few of them along the way.
Yeah, and I think too it would be fun at the end of this list to sort of get you to thinking, and then maybe at the dinner table tonight, ask your kids.
Why do you like homeschooling?
Start your own list. Have it posted. One of the things, because on a bad day you might want to review that list of all the reasons you actually do like this, because there are hard days. But get to the list.
So here we go. Number 1, sleeping in. You can sleep in if you want to.
You can. We don't generally sleep in, you and I. We're just early birds by nature.
Right.
So, yeah.
Number 2, doing school in your PJs. We did do that several times with our kids, and sometimes even had an official PJ day to kind of get it over with.
Yeah.
But we enjoyed that. 3, kids love homeschooling at home because it's safe at home.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
During COVID, when all that dangerous stuff was happening, where did people say, then governments say, that you needed to send their kids to be safe?
The safest place was home. I know. And there's a safety to home that isn't driven by germs.
Right.
It's just a mental safety. I mean, they feel safe emotionally, mentally, physically, all of those different ways. That's a loaded statement. Yeah.
Number 4, the kids get to spend time following their interests instead of doing things that don't even make sense, that they're not interested in, that seem to have no purpose.
Right.
Number 5, I love this one. The food is better.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
I guess that's true.
Every homeschool has a cafeteria called the kitchen.
Well, and snacks are available. I mean, I didn't have a perpetually open kitchen when all the kids were home, but we did have a menu, and the kids did contribute to
They participated in cooking menus.
Well, and the grocery store too, so it was a whole family event. Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Number 6, field trips are awesome. We did field trips in our day, many of them, and we even did a blog and a podcast about our best and favorite family vacations / field trips, because you get to combine everything when you homeschool.
Yeah, it's true.
Number 7, the teachers don't pick favorites. And that's true.
Yeah, that's
We've
true.
talked about that many times, how growing up, we had no favorite kids.
No.
They were all equal. We didn't understand that concept of having a favorite or a least favorite.
No, yeah.
Number 8, they don't have to be confined to a classroom.
Oh, man, we took it outside a lot.
Yes.
We did so much school on our porch, in the yard, at the park, in the car, in the airport. Remember when we would read in the airport?
Hotels.
Yeah, the train. Yeah. I mean, you take it on the road.
Number 9, freedom. This includes the being able to go to the bathroom when you need to, go outside when you want to, eat when you're hungry, not because it says it's lunchtime, listen to music while you work. Love that. Take a break when you need to. Those are good freedom points right there.
Those are really good freedom points. And and you're not bound by someone else's arbitrary numbers or schedule or times.
Things have more purpose.
They have much more purpose.
Arbitrary.
And we talked too about when we would bring a new baby home. We could just free up the schedule and So yeah, the freedom is a huge thing.
Number 10, they love having educational choices. So delving into their favorite topics, having some input into their curriculum, following interest on elective choices.
Or changing stuff. I mean, we've talked about that too. I mean, sometimes I can remember really more situations than I wish I could. But it's just the way it is, right? I would get so excited about a curriculum and we would get into, September 4th maybe, and it's not working. Yeah. It's not working for me. It's not working for them. And sometimes I would just try again, maybe in October or November. And sometimes then it was okay. It was just a timing issue. And sometimes it just wasn't.
Right. Number 11, they like being able to work at their own pace and their own level. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you've talked about how when you were a high school teacher, you had to aim for the middle and hope you get the other ends.
Yeah.
The two ends. Number 12, hot chocolate during math time or hot tea during history.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Number 13, being able to do school in princess dresses. Kind of like PJs.
That's so sweet. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Number 14, no bullies.
Oh, yeah, that's big. Yeah.
I love 15, being able to do school with your pets. I think all pets should be allowed in school. And in homeschooling, you can do that. One of my favorite pictures is our son when he was younger doing homework. And he was struggling to concentrate. But we have a little 5-pound Maltipoo. And she was on his shoulders where she loves to be. Yeah. And it's just a great picture of, in homeschooling, you can do that. If he was in a public or private school, the dog, his support would not be able to be with him.
No. Well, and we had a wide menagerie of pets. I mean, we had anoles, we had a tarantula at one point, we had a hedgehog, we had praying mantises, we had hamsters.
We had all kinds of varieties.
Yeah, we had a variety of different animals that came and lived and died at our home. But it was really great to have those. Yeah. I mean, it was the beauty of the creation of God. And it was great interaction for the kid. We had pet squirrels a couple of times too. Yeah.
Pet squirrel.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 16. Homeschooled kids enjoy being able to go places during the week without fighting the crowds.
Oh,
I love that as a parent.
Oh, yeah. Going grocery shopping without fighting everybody was great, but there were always the truancy questions. So you had to kind of be prepared for that.
17. Kids and parents alike enjoy reading during family read aloud time. Those were some of our favorite memories.
So here's a question. Do you remember you went to public school, I went to private school. Do you remember any of your teachers reading to you?
No, I don't.
I don't either. I don't have any of those memories.
Not even in elementary school.
And I have to think, if we were to poll the kids who are now all adults, I think that might be the number one thing that they would point to that they liked the most.
Reading aloud time.
And it was the one thing neither one of us had. In the institutional. That's kind of interesting.
18, one-on-one teaching.
Yeah.
And obviously you got the one-on-one that we have with the kids. We even had some one-on-one tutors a couple of times. 19, flexible schedules.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
20, doing classes with friends.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. We had several co-ops.
Yeah, we had a co-op that we did for 5 years, and then we had a co-op with a couple of different families, and then we outsourced science, ironically. The experiments, primarily, we wanted to get together with other people, and then the boys did a computer thing one time with some friends. Yeah, that's a great one.
And speech and debate definitely created friendships.
Yeah, that's true. And we also did choir and musical theater. So there were a lot of things that we did. Yeah.
21. This is like a duh thing. No homework. Because you've done it. You did
home.
your work or you didn't do your work.
I know, right. Yeah.
You don't do it at one place and then come home and keep doing it and then go to bed and keep doing it. I mean, endless.
Yeah.
22, reading great books.
Oh,
now,
so
I
true.
always like to say there's so many good books. Why waste any time reading any of the bad ones?
That is so true. And if you're struggling, so I didn't have a reference of a good book list because I wasn't raised in a reading context. And that was not the backbone of my education. There's so many great reading lists out there. So there's really no excuse. There's lots of sources for that.
23, being able to read the Bible, pray, and talk about God. I love that that's on the list by the kids.
I do too.
That's a reason they love homeschooling. They can maybe because they have some questions.
Fair.
About heaven, about hell, about
who am I?
Yeah. That are great. What I call Deuteronomy 6 moments to talk about these kind of things with your kids.
Yep.
When you get up, when you go down, when you walk along the way, when you're sitting at the table.
Right.
24. Homeschool kids love being able to be themselves.
Oh. That's very dear. That's a very sincere statement that they don't feel like they have to be somebody else for everyone else. Yeah. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. 25, halfway there, learning for the sake of learning. You don't dread school. They actually get to enjoy
there's a lot of
learning.
pressure. I don't remember which one of our children it was when they went to college, and they said, having not ever been in institutional learning until college, having just homeschooled, this one child of ours, I can't remember who it was, but said they were really shocked by the peer pressure to not like school and not like learning.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was one of our sons. He said, I just don't understand it. I mean, I'm loving my classes. Why is everybody so intent on not liking them?
Right.
I don't understand it. And it's that peer pressure thing that we've talked about. It's just not to be underestimated.
Right. All right, we're in the second half of the list. Number 26, spending time with family.
Yeah.
Oh, our name of our school was the Carman Family Homeschool.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time with family.
It's true.
And it was a great part of it.
Yeah.
Number 27, no uniforms. Unless you want to wear PJs all day.
Yeah,
That's
I
your
guess
school
so.
uniform.
Yeah.
28, seeing the world from a different perspective. Now, that's an interesting one.
I guess you're looking out your house window instead of a bus window or a school window. I mean, the perspective. I mean, our kids always watch the bus drive by.
Yeah.
They never wrote it. Yeah. That's the book I've wanted to write, entitled They Always Missed the Bus. Just little caveat stories of different homeschool, from different homeschool students.
Perspectives.
Yeah.
29, spending time with the non-teaching parent.
Oh, yeah. I think our kids were greatly benefited by that. I think our youngest sons don't remember you not being home.
Right.
That's weird. Yeah.
Number 30, we kind of touched on this, going on vacation during off season. We did that plenty of time to avoid the crowds, to get the lower price rates, everything. 31, not having to catch the bus before the sun comes up.
I know.
It's one thing to ride the bus, but they come by so stinking early.
There was an article in our local newspaper about that, and it was ridiculous. They actually did a study across all of the school districts in our metropolitan area. And what was the earliest bus? I want to say it was before 5.
It was 4 something.
It was
4:45 or some crazy early time.
Crazy
for little kids to be up and on a bus.
That's ridiculous.
That is unhealthy.
It is. I would often stand on the front porch with my cup of tea and wave at the bus. It was just an act of rebellion that made me very happy every morning.
32, no busy work. Yeah,
Right.
You're not just having to do work for the sake of you have to do it. No.
Nope.
33, getting to surf when the waves are good.
Somebody in California, yeah.
34, not having to worry about peer pressure or being popular or labeled. If you know it exists in any way, it's got to be nice to know you're not missing it.
Yeah, I think giving our children a context where they are universally loved and accepted for who they are really ups the learning curve.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. 35, school breaks. Taking breaks during the week, during the day, and during the year. Number 36, stress-free mornings.
Yeah, because you're not racing to get out the door.
Exactly. You're not, you forgot your lunch. You forgot to brush your teeth. You didn't make your bed. Just the rush that many families not homeschooling have to feel. 37, interest can be incorporated into learning.
Yeah.
Very
and
common
it
thread
should
here.
be.
Exactly.
It really should be.
38, no bad language from other kids. I like this one because we did some extracurricular activities, and there were some that we knew had the potential for some foul language from peers and even parents, and we ran into that a few times, and it was so frustrating to me as a parent because I didn't want to expose that to my kids.
Right.
And but when you're homeschooling, you're setting how do we behave here? How do we talk?
Yeah, I do think there's value in your children navigating that, but in your family, hearing it maybe at a ball game, that's where I can imagine it happening. I know we heard it on the subway when one of our kids was in New York, and answering those questions and having those conversations is valuable. Right. So we're not wanting to advocate for sheltering your children to the point that they don't know how to function outside of your home, but you don't want that to be the everyday experience.
Yeah. Number 39, having a later bedtime.
Yeah, we did, those years that we did musical theater and some choir, we were up late with rehearsals. Even speech and debate. Some of those tournaments were far away. Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Number 40, they can get academic help when needed. Kind of like what you said, you can change the curriculum quickly if it's not working.
Yeah.
You can get some help if you need some help now. You can turn on a dime better.
Well, and parents too. I mean, even at Apologia, we have a helpline. I mean, we are there to help you succeed. And there are other curriculum companies that do the same thing. I mean, you've got other parents, other maybe people at church that are experts in their field. You really have a great network.
41, not having to be medicated. Oh man, yeah.
So huge.
I feel
huge.
so bad for primarily the boys that are medicated so that they can behave in school. In other words, not be themselves.
Not be themselves. And I think, so caveat, there's a time for medication, but it's not all the time. And there's a time when it can be helpful, but it can't be the first thing that we go to. And I've talked to so many students, primarily in high school, that say the most tragic things in my mind about having always been medicated. How I hate the way it makes me feel, but it's the only way everybody else likes me.
Yeah.
That's chilling. That's chilling.
Yeah.
And so, I think being able to set those prescriptions aside because your kids can move more and you can work around their issues and find ways to help them. Right? I think the best thing that we can do for kids who have those issues is give them the tools that they need to be able to accommodate themselves. Right? Not that they would be in a world where they would go and tell everybody how they need to be accommodated, but teach them, here are some workarounds for you so that you can function in the world.
Well, and I'll say we actually faced this very pressure with our boys. And, it was a struggle to resist.
It was.
But I'm glad we did.
I'm really glad,
Number 42, having lots of room to be creative. I can remember many projects that our kids did that took on a life of their own.
Lots of construction paper, lots of scissors, for some reason, our kids always preferred Scotch tape. And they would just pull out the Scotch tape, right? And markers, I mean, they did tunnels, they did posters, they did lots of different things with the little pom-pom balls.
I have to share this. I don't know if it actually falls under being creative, but I was sharing this with one of my 20-year-old sons recently, and we were reminiscing about when they were younger. He and his younger brother were young in our homeschool, and when they just were obsessed with making paper airplanes.
Oh, I remember that.
And I told him, okay, here's the rule. We're only going to make one a day, because I got a life, too. I'm trying to work here at the house. And so I got a book with maybe 50 paper airplanes to make, and we made one a day, kept them in a little box, and got another book. We made hundreds one day at a time.
But you know what was great about the limit of one, which may sound like a damper and may sound contradictory to everything that we're advocating for, it wasn't, because it was like a great limit for them to make the one and then tweak it, because they would put
enjoy the one.
Right, but they would put paper clips on it, and they would fold it a different way, or they would tape it a different way to see how it flew in different conditions. And that was a great thing.
And it created great anticipation for the next day.
It did.
Number 43, enjoying close relationships with siblings. Our kids love being with each other.
Yeah, even now. They're all launched, and they still talk to each other. They have a kids-only text that we're not even on.
Look forward to being with each other during Thanksgiving in particular.
Yeah.
44, being able to work with fewer distractions.
Yeah.
The world is distracted these days.
It is.
Screens have contributed greatly to that. And when you're homeschooling, it's going to be a lot easier to not have screens in front of you.
Off. Yeah.
45, we're nearing the end of this 50 reasons. Number 45, young homeschooled kids appreciate using treats for math manipulatives. That's funny.
Okay, well, do you know what our go-to treat was?
I do.
What was
Little M&Ms?
No, it was Skittles.
Oh, that's right.
It was Skittles. The Skittles were the go-to, and we used them for addition and subtraction, and boy, our kids were motivated to do that.
I was thinking of M&Ms because that's what we used for potty training, and
of our
grandkids are in potty training right now.
It's so true.
And so you get to give them the M&M.
Okay, so what was also funny, this is such a funny memory, so they would also have a page of 100 math facts, and so there were 10 on a line of 10, right. For 100. And so as I was grading it, every row that they got them all right in, they got one Skittle. So they could earn 10 Skittles. But if they got them all right, I think they got 20 or something like that.
Double.
And so it was a pretty cool thing, and it worked out well.
That's good. 46, not getting sick as often.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true. Yeah. But in a family like ours, once they do get sick, it's like a bomb going off. Yeah. And we just would close school for a while. Yeah.
47, no mean teachers.
Oh, wow.
So you have we all know that a teacher makes a big difference. And if you have a bad teacher, it's no fun. It's miserable.
Not. Yeah.
But when you're homeschooling, your teachers love you.
It's true.
They're not going to be mean to you. You better not be mean to your kids.
Yeah.
Number 48. Homeschooled teens like learning time management by scheduling their own schoolwork.
That's true.
Talk about a gift. That's a life skill that many people don't have.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that was something we really worked hard on, and maybe we need to do a podcast on this because I feel like the junior high is that transition that you really need to start doing that in high school. Like, don't plan their freshman and sophomore year. They need to do that, right? And it's one subject at a time. We really need to do that. But I'm just going to warn parents, do this, but very often they don't do it themselves until they're in college. Right, it warmed the cockles of my heart when my boys came home for their freshman year with a planner. And I was just like, oh, but they knew how, right? And yet when the rubber really met the road, and they did fine in high school, just doing it without doing it, with a planner. But when they got there, they totally did it with a planner. And I thought that was pretty awesome. So
Number 49, plenty of time to eat lunch.
Oh,
so you don't have to gobble it down and wolf it down. You can enjoy your meals.
Yeah.
And number 50, birthdays are school holidays.
Oh, I love that. And the whole class gets the birthday cake and comes to the party and all of that.
So that's 50 reasons homeschooled kids love being homeschooled, written 10 years ago in 2014 by weird, unsocialized homeschoolers.
Right. Make your own list. Take some time, ask your kids, think about all the reasons that you love this journey, and keep it handy for those tough days so that you can review it together.
All right. So that was a fun list of 50 reasons we just went through. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We hope you'll join us again next time. This has been Let's Talk Homeschool, brought to you by Apologia Educational Ministries, and we are your hosts, Davis and Rachael Carman. Have a great day, and until next time, we're walking by faith and enjoying the homeschooling adventure of a lifetime.